Ready and go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hexproof Reward. This is episode 48, and I'm your host today, Josh. And with me today are the usual Nathan, Sam, and Keith. How is everyone?
Cold.
Just
Good.
just peachy.
Eh, uh,
Heck yeah.
yeah, I think it is a cold where we are. Like, feels like negative
Yes.
7 degrees. Everyone's outies are innies now, so it's going real great. But But uh, hope, but luckily, before it got too bad, we were able to go out and enjoy Lorwyn in various ways of our own uh,
Yay.
preference. So I went out to Moonshot in Noblesville and did the pre-release on Saturday and had an absolute blast. And did pretty decently with an Azorius combination Merfolk Elemental Convoke sort of situation and went 3-1. So I was pretty happy with that.
How many
So
people did they have this time?
oh, they had 84 people, and
Good Lord.
I meant I managed to sneak away at spot number 17. So
That's
I was
awesome.
yeah, so I went 3-1. I lost to I lost my first game to an elf deck that just kind of outvalued me a little bit. But other than that, is also all my games were really close. They were real ugly, but I got there. So good times.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So you guys did your own little thing with the Lorwyn. You want to tell everyone what you did?
Yeah, so I went to a new LGS. There's one next to actually where I get my haircut called the Playtest Lounge over in Carmel. And picked up some pre-release kits and we were going to get, so I don't know if anybody else tried to do this, but we were going to get that the draft night at home box that was being talked about for this set. And when I was talking with them, they were saying that those didn't get shipped out in time. Wizards is still working on them. Something happened, and it might have to do with what happened to the pre-release kits and there being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards in the pre-release kits. So maybe they stopped putting those out to try and fix them and make sure that those were all good. But yeah, hoping that gets fixed because that was a really cool concept and the price point's actually pretty nice. At least at the PTL it was. So, Josh, what's up?
It shot up.
Hey. Yep. Well, I was gonna say, with that, with I know like a lot of people aren't so keen on the turtle set, so maybe they can release it as an alternative draft environment whenever they go out of universe again. So
That's all. So it's already they're already doing that for the turtles set. They're doing the same kind of box for the turtles.
I was just saying because they didn't release the lore one in time, they could release that at the same time as the turtles
Oh,
and
gotcha.
like offer that again and be like, hey, I know you're big sad about this, but what if we went back to the one that made everyone happy a few months ago?
Yay.
That'd been awesome. But yeah, so we anyways, I just picked up pre-release kits and we're gonna have four players, but we ended up only just having me, Keith, and Sam. So we made some homemade pizzas, and then we jammed some games. We kind of each played each other, um, and it was a lot of fun. I went black and green elves, and then Keith and Sam, if you guys want to talk about what you guys built, that'd be nice.
Oh, Keith
Oh,
can go first if he wants. That doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Well, all the packs I opened, I tried something different this time. So I ended up going with red black goblins plus red blue elementals. Just kind of smashed them together because I didn't have enough creatures from goblins. It was all right. I,
Any
I
any
tried something new, and I probably won't be trying it again.
I was like, were there any
Uh,
standout
it,
cards that performed particularly well for you that you remember, or
oh, I feel like Sam got the good goblin cards that would have synergized and would have done what I needed them to do. So, there's one I can look it up real quick. It it blights and just draws you cards, so it's pretty good. Do 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 do. Oh, Gristle Glutton. One in a red. It has tap, blight one, discard a card, draw a card. It's just a nice little looter. You get like two or three uses out of it, or you can spread out the blight counters. I'm really loving blight counters, by the way. Or
uh,
you know, minus one counters.
yeah, those I saw a lot of that actually played a bunch against Blight at the Moonshot event. I think with goblins because they want to die,
Hmm.
but the only way to kill them is Blight. There's not like a clean designated sack outlet. I found that uh, you if you survive long enough to stabilize against them, they kind of ran out of creatures, and it's kind of a weird pacing with like the blight. If there was something like a makeshift munitions or something like in this deck, those goblins would have just been indomitable. So I'm kind of happy there wasn't just a designated sack outlet. But that being said, whenever you're building around these goblins outside of that, just having a sack outlet for them will make for some disgusting Rakdos Goblin decks.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see them, though I am terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all the colors got some blight support too. I even saw blight in white, I think. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all I did.
Yeah. And Sam, what were you cooking with?
Me and Keith kind of had like the same idea. I went Jund goblins,
Yeah.
basically
So
red black goblins with green spells that either would pump them up or get rid of the -1 counters or something.
I feel like a small splash of green. I feel like a lot of people are doing that just because it was good stabilizing colors and you pushes you to where those vivid spells can give you a little bit of value. So I saw little sprinkles of green here and there throughout various decks, and yeah, so I think that's a smart way to use it because it's a really good support color from the set.
Well, I also would throw in any changelings that I got because
Hmm.
each one, like one had, flash, one had trample, and
Yeah, the
then
changelings in this set are so
Yeah,
so nice.
pretty good
Yeah.
gap fillers.
Yeah, so and with that, with the changelings, was something that was a stabilizing force in my deck. Those changelings, because I was running the MVP for my whole tournament thing was the Tributary Vaulter, which is the common merfolk, two and a white. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, another target merfolk you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Uh, that I was able to pull two of them, and the uh, two or three of them they would just kind of buff each other. So I was like swinging for six in the air, and
Uh,
there's a not a ton, weirdly, not a ton of flying hate. So I kind of got away with murder on a couple of my games because there are some people who built like really good smart decks, and I was just gonna like nickel and dime them with these flying commons. But if you win, you win. Like I said, I didn't win pretty. It was real ugly, but I got there.
I think uh my favorites were the Mutable Explorer. So for two and a green, Changeling, when this creature enters, create a tap Mutavault token. So you can a Mutavault token, you can tap it to add a colorless, or you can pay one and then the token becomes a 2/2 creature. And it's also a land. And then Grave Shifter was the other one that I was a big fan of. When this creature enters, it's three and a black. When this creature enters, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So what I was doing was I was playing those cards that pumped up everything in the graveyard. And then once I got those pumps out of the graveyard, I'd play that grave shifter, bring those cards back to my hand, or be able to sit there and play them outright. And it's just nice to be able to have creatures that kind of have that changeling, so they're everything, and they have like those weird little extra things attached to them that they can do that you wouldn't usually see an elf do, or what other kind of creatures you're trying to play, like even merfolk or stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to have those little tidbits from other colors that you wouldn't usually have by having changelings.
Yeah, and like going with that, I think like the changelings are going to have such staying power
Hmm.
in this in building decks moving forward. I mean, even today, I had a friend reach out saying that they were building a Atla Patlani deck where like you want your eggs to die so then you can cheat out a big creature. It's like, hey, with all the changelings in Lorwyn, there are also eggs. These
Yeah.
changelings, as they die, they're going to trigger this. So, or even like Ren and Siri, like the cats and dogs,
Hmm.
like that triggers off of like they are cats and dogs, so you get double triggers. So there's gonna all these decks are gonna get so much support just by these changelings existing and being more available.
Well, what's even crazier, and I know that we don't like to talk about UB a lot, but when you talk about like Peter Porker, like Spider Ham, with him having all of those different creature types in his name and everything, you throw a changeling in there and him giving plus one for each creature type that a creature is, like that's crazy. It's a
Yeah,
big
so
big way to pump.
yeah, this real Peter porking them to death is not the way you want to go, but here we are. But yeah, I think that kind of transitions the conversation where I want to go next is like cards that we feel might have maybe some like staying power moving forward that you might recommend to people running decks or ones that you might think gotten glossed over. So just to lore when it can be pitching like recommendations. I have like cards that I wanted to pitch to you guys if there's anything that you wanted to respond back with, or there's an existing card that it just outperforms the current card. Uh, and you're like, no, we just won't play that because this already existing card's better than what just came out. So I think that'd be a fun discussion to have.
Yeah, I if you don't mind, I have one. I brought my pre-release kit out here and I still have my deck sleeved. So one of those cards that I think would be a great card to have, especially if you're running like a five color, like a Wooburg deck or something like that, is Prismatic Undercurrents. So it's an uncommon for three and a green. It has Vivid. When this enchantment enters, search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, then shuffle. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. I think one, being able to play an extra land is awesome. I The only downside to it, and I think this is what makes it an uncommon, is the price to it. The three and a green, that price. But being able to pick up five lands if you're playing a five color deck for four is pretty nice. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, even something like a theft deck,
Hmm.
like Gonti, Simic, that you're gonna get the benefit of that for three pretty consistently, but in a theft deck, you're also going to be potentially stealing colors from your opponents. So don't like just ignore that card just because you might have three colors in your commander's
Hmm.
identity because you can be in the game of commander you can be yoinking all sorts of things. Yeah, I mean even like a mono black like ink eyes build or something like that. If you're
Yeah.
stealing the right things from the graveyard, you can't play that in ink eyes. It's a green card in a black commander identity. You can't do that. That would break the rules. But I
Yeah.
was just getting at that graveyard decks, theft decks, stuff like that. Good way to also get extra value out of that card.
Yeah, it was putting in work when we were playing, and being able to play an extra land when you have it. Like there were a couple of times where I was mana flooded, and it's just a way to get them out there. Like it doesn't matter, and you get you're getting out two when everybody else is getting out one. So that green ramp, just having that on there It's a spicy card.
And uh, also, like, I can kind of go from one of the cards that I was kind of think it would have some staying power. Kind of a different realm, but another. It's a white creature, 2 and a white. It is a Merfolk cleric. Adapt Water Shaper. Other tapped creatures you control have indestructible. With all the spaceships and um, water bending and convoke out there, and even like mounts or vehicles, or there's so we're using our creatures as non-combat resources more and more.
Hmm.
So when we see these effects get printed, again, they're just going to be more valuable with every sort of iteration of non-combat creature value that we get moving forward. So I just kind of see her might be like being maybe a sleeper success moving forward in future builds, especially as we get more spaceships and stuff going to Star Trek and this, that, and the other. I don't think she's ever going to get any weaker. We're, for the listeners, Nathan threw up a live long and prosper for us. So, and also if you're indestructible, you'll be living longer and prospering. So,
Living forever and prospering forever.
yes.
Unless it's a perfect segue to go into one of my favorite cards. I didn't pull it, but I'm gonna look to add it to a couple of my decks, and that is Spine Rock Tyrant for
Oh,
you
that
Wither players.
Can you let
educate the
us know what
class.
it does? Yeah.
It is a 3 and a red. It's a flying 6/6 dragon with Wither, but it has whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with a single target, you may copy it. If you do, those spells gain Wither. You may choose new targets for the copy. So if you've got those pesky indestructible guys out there, get rid of them.
Yeah, 'cause I
No
like
more
this too.
Platinum Angel.
I
Yeah.
like I like it because it's what's his name? The Goblin Zeta, right? Where you like if you choose him, like you copy the
Mhm.
spell for everyone else. It's kind of a diet version of that with a little bit of extra stank on the whatever control spells you have. So then that shock that you get late game doesn't feel useless because even though they have a big butt on the field, you can reduce the power of the big butt permanently with that wither ability. And with that, you also get to choose another one too. So I think it is definitely needed to give early burn spells more value in the late game. So it was actually on one of the ones on my list that I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm really glad Sam brought it to the table.
I had one I really liked, and it was oh, Donhan Dissident for 1 black. It's an Elf Warlock 1/2. It has tap Blight 1 to Surveil 1, or tap Blight 2, exile target card from a graveyard, and during your turn, you may cast creature spells from among cards you own exiled with this creature by removing 3 counters from among creatures you control, in addition to paying their other costs. So obviously synergizes super well with the Blight and straight up removes all the -1/-1 counters
Yeah, and like with
if
like
you're
hyper,
working with that.
I mean, even like with like high perfect, and like it's color identity is just black, right? So even
Yeah.
like high perfect Morkant decks and stuff like that, you're you're proliferating with your elves. You probably have +1/+1 counters. If you're getting more value, if you can get more, turn those +1/+1 counters into more value, and this, that, and the other. It's just a good card. That's a really good call out.
Yeah. I was hoping Persist would be a little more present in this set, but it looks like it's only on 2 cards, and they're either mono white or black and white.
It wasn't very persistent.
No.
Ah,
We have fun here. Uh, Another card that's gonna probably have some staying power and combo potential is another uncommon. It is 3 and a blue, the Pestered Wellguard. another merfolk. I'll stop. I'll get out of the merfolk realm eventually. I just want to call attention to it. But whenever this creature becomes tapped, you create a one one blue and black fairy creature token with flying. This will, if you have a way to tap this card, like it goes infinite with intruder alarm, so you can have infinite flying fairies. It's just another engine enabler. There's plenty of other ways to abuse it too. So just another uncommon that enables disgusting infinite loops if you wanna, if you're interested in gross stuff. I mean, even like I like that the Lorwyn cards, they have cards that aren't necessarily typal that would fit into other typal decks. Like you see this, you have a fairy build. You might even consider this if you have intruder alarm or anything else to make infinite fairies. And then there's the uncommon fairy uh, from uh, the the other fairy tale set that is
Eldraine.
escaping me. Eldraine, thank you. My brain was leaking out my ears. That like deals a damage whenever a fairy enters the battlefield. So you just win.
Hmm.
So that's, it's just something to call out because if you have that commander or a fairy deck, you might be running this merfolk just to crap infinite fairies potentially.
Yeah, I have
Speaking of,
go ahead. Go ahead,
oh,
Sam.
I was just gonna piggyback off him again. Speaking of tribal cards, Collective Inferno. It is another red enchantment. It is a 3 and 2 red enchantment with Convoke, so it's very nice. Being able to obviously gain something with the creatures that you have on the field, and as an enchantment enters, you choose a creature type. You deal double all damage that sources you control of the chosen creature, chosen type would deal. So, I hate to say it, people are gonna throw shade at me, but I would not be surprised if you see this going to be thrown into some sliver decks.
Oh, that's gross. That's real
Yeah.
gross. Yeah, this, slivers needed help, but you're right. That is very gross. I mean, also, already go wide decks like goblins that have already gotten a ton of support. You crap out a ton of goblins, you convoke them, like you can feasibly be doing this turn four pretty consistently, turn three, turn four, depending on the gobos you're getting. So it's just a cool card, and
Yep.
it's gonna make games go faster. And another card that I think is going to have some staying power, which is just a common, but we've seen this happen before. The Wild Unraveling, which is the counter spell, where in addition to it's like costed like the traditional counter spell of 2 blue, but in addition you have to either blight 2 or pay 1 to counter target spell. I think anytime you can have a counterspell below the cost of cancel in any capacity, uh, it's just going to be really good. I think this is going to be one of those cards that people will be looking through their bulk for in 4 years to be like, where's that really good counterspell from Lorwyn that everyone slept on? It's like you just kill like a dingus and you have an extra copy of counterspell that counters anything for 2 blue. Um, yeah, I think I'm calling that here. Everyone
Yeah.
just they're gonna forget about this card, and then they're gonna be reminded of this card whenever it ruins their day, and then they'll look through their bulk to find it.
Yeah. I have some kind of similar to that. It's called Swat Away. It's two and then double blue, an instant. But when this spell costs two less to cast if a creature is attacking you, and it has the owner of target spell or creature puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library. So you can straight up like throw something back into someone's deck or just bounce a creature. And I mean, it could be reduced cost too. Well, there's not a lot of cards like that where you can slap it on top of the library.
And then for newer players who might not be
It's like a
familiar with
reality
rules,
shift.
or returning players when they played with the old rule, if a commander is put into the library, you can choose to have it go to the command zone still. Went back in the day when we were playing back in 2014, that was not the case. And if you happen to find a way to bury the commander in the library, you're just kind of hosed. But these days, it's not so cruel. If your commander's going to the library, you can choose to put it back in the command zone. So it's not an bury the commander forever card, unfortunately, but it's still really, really good and a great call out, Keith.
I have a gross card that I think is going to stick around for a minute. Um, it's it's a rare for 1 and 2 black, Morn Song Aria. Players can't draw cards or gain life. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life, searches their library for a card, puts it into their hand, then shuffles. Um, this card is going to go into my Nekasar deck. It's another way to play like a stupid Mario Party game from hell. Um, so just being able to, you know, have a different way of people playing their turn and stuff like that, and it affects me too. Um, but it's just another fun card to have in black, another fun card to have and be able to mess around with. Go ahead, Josh.
And then in Rakdos, you can make it very unfun with Stranglehold and make it so your opponents can't search their libraries. So then only you get to tutor anything you want every turn, and then you essentially shut them out of the game. I think that is very much limiting their ability to play the deck. So this feels not bracket two. This pushes into bracket three, probably bracket four
Oh,
meanness levels.
you want to make it even more salty? Just throw an opposition agent. Come on now.
Yeah, so there's some easy ways to make it so no one has fun with this card. So at face value, this could look a little group huggy, but you're when you build your deck, you built this your deck with this in mind. Your opponents did not probably build their deck with this in mind. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it'll be a fun update. I mean, it could even be, I wanted to build a new Nekasar deck and have 2 Nekasar decks, so it could be the one of the main seeds in my second one. That's a little bit, I mean, the first one's not very fun to play against, but this one might be even less fun.
I think even in Commander, sometimes what this is going to look like is you're going to play it for three, and then your opponent's going to have to choose to like exhaust their draw in their turn
Hmm.
to find their destroy enchantment spell
Hmm.
and just lose 3 life, find their destroy enchantment spell, destroy it, and they've exhausted their draw and they've exhausted a card for their turn because they don't want the person behind them to get anything they want from
Right.
their deck. So at the very least, you've pretty much uh, fate sealed your next opponent to some capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's almost grossly added that it pairs stupidly well with Maryland itself. So you get 2 of those triggers each time someone goes to draw. So it's 6 life every time they go to draw. Yeah.
Dirty.
Yeah. Then if and also there's ways to make other enchantments hexproof or indestructible or this, that, or the other. So yeah, so in Enchantress style decks, you can uh, hold that and lock it out and keep it safe. Then yeah, it's infinite tutors for you and infinite sadness for your opponents.
Yeah. Needless to say, those cards will not last long on the table. You do not have instant protection.
And if they do last long, your friendships won't.
Yeah.
But anywho, I just kind of I know we already touched on it a little bit, but I just cannot shut up about the Chomping Changeling, the 2 and a green Changeling that enters and you destroy target artifact or enchantment. I know like Maskwood Nexus, he already sees play and he's 2 and you exile like a creature from your graveyard when he enters and you exile a enchantment or artifact. But still, this guy he's just good. He fits into any creature strategy. He's versatile removal for on a body that also triggers any existing creature ETBs or anything else you have going on in your deck. So he's just really, really cool, and he's gonna wind up in a ton of my decks.
I have a new commander um, that I want to build just from what I played, um, and I've kind of got some cards picked out for him. So Tristan, Callous Cultivator for two and a green, legendary creature, Elf Druid with Death Touch. Whenever this creature enters or transforms into Tristan, Callous Cultivator, mill three cards. Then, if there is an elf card in your graveyard, you gain two life. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay a black. If you do, you transform Tristan. And then when Tristan transforms, you get Tristan Penitent Color, uh, who's an elf warlock with death touch. Whenever this creature transforms into Tristan and into this side, you mill three cards. Then you may exile an elf card from your graveyard. If you do, each opponent loses two life, and then you can pay a green to transform on your main phase. So, uh, the cards that I kind of already want to put in this deck from this set. Oh, good lord! I got too close to the microphone there. Sorry to everyone's ears.
No,
So
we just thought you were really passionate about it.
yeah, Lysolana Dignitary for one and a green. Elf Advisor as an additional cost to cast the spell, Behold an Elf or pay two. And then you can tap it, add two green, activate only if there's an elf card in your graveyard. So you're milling them into your graveyard, you're getting more more stuff off of them. Then the Dawnhand Eulogist for three and a black. It's an elf warlock with menace. And then when this creature enters, mill three cards. Then if there's an elf card in your graveyard, each opponent loses two life and you gain two life. And then the last one is the Creekwood Safe Right for one and a black. It's an elf warrior. This creature enters with three -1/-1 counters on it. At the beginning of your end step, if there's an elf card in your graveyard and this creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, you remove that. So you're already kind of, building up that graveyard, getting those elves in there. Then you have other ways of getting those elves out of the graveyard, but then you're getting these 5/5 creatures for two. Like it's kind of, it's a no-brainer to play that kind of stuff, and I just think it'll be a fun commander to have, and it already looks like it's one of the most built commanders from this set. But I'll jump on that bandwagon and make a fun little black and green elves deck. What's up, Josh?
Something I wanted to mention with that too is with the graveyard synergy with elves, there were some really cool uncommon elves from Commander Masters, and or was it the original? But the first uh, time they printed a just Commander set, I think it was like
Commander
2020 or
Legends.
something. Commander Legends, yes, thank you.
Yep.
The first Commander Legends, there's a ton of uncommon black and green or black elves that cared about grave elves in your graveyards. They also had uh, the uh, mechanic where you pitch them from your graveyard and they attack everyone. I forget what it's called. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of graveyard elf synergies. The cool thing about the new elves coming out, maybe other than High Perfect Morgant, um, they are not as on site as a Lathril are. So like you can have them on the table and they're probably not going to be as removed as quickly as Lathril would. So uh, elves can be elfin in different ways and not immediately catch the smoke of your opponents
Yeah.
because everyone knows what Lathril does. Not everyone knows what the new elves are doing, so you have a little chance to breathe. Keith.
Yeah, I've got a little elf to throw into the elf ball, and it probably get some play outside elves too. It is the World Champion card, Formidable Speaker, two and a green, Elf Druid, 2/4. When it enters, you may discard a card. If you do, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And then it has one and tap it, untap another target permanent. So very good card to slot into basically any green deck.
Yeah, it's like it's just a creature tutor, and that's on ETB, not on cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
When it
Yeah.
that
enters.
card's
Yep.
that card's crazy.
It's like
Yeah.
you blink, you're blanking it in in like a astral slide deck or this, that, or the other, you're just finding whatever other card pieces you need or creatures with cycle. It,
Yeah, and
it's
if you're playing Golgari Elves, this thing dies, you just bring it right back.
yeah.
Hmm.
Then you find whatever elf you need. Yeah, man, that's such a good card. It's absolutely
It's
bonkers.
already over $15, but it is pre-release just after pre-release weekend, so hopefully it
And
goes
it's that
down.
that champion card.
Be a good pickup for sure.
Those are like a series that people like to collect and try and get everybody that's won that championship. So that's one I was looking out for and didn't pull yet. So I'm gonna have to see if I can find it.
Uh, if no one else has another one on deck, I can pitch another card from the set that I thought was pretty interesting and fun. And I'm not off my Merfolk train yet, I guess, actually. Fun fact, I
Merfolk
lied.
train doesn't stop.
Sig's Command is a really fun Azorius piece, and it doesn't just have to go into Merfolk deck. But it's one in Azorius, sorcery, kindred, merfolk. You get yourself to two of these options. You can create a token that's a copy of target merfolk you control. Creatures you control, target player control gain lifelink. So I guess you could target your opponent's creatures if you really wanted to for whatever reason. And then target player draws a card. Again, I guess you can target your opponent with that too. If they're at one and they're about to mill out, but you're probably going to choose yourself. Or the tap target creature and put a stun counter on it. I see this like being really good also in like birds or spirits where you have like evasive creatures and you want to gain a bunch of life. Uh, and maybe like tap down their one flying blocker and put a stun counter on it, or lock down a creature that has a activated ability that requires it to tap. That's giving a bad time. So it's just really good utility piece for Azorius, and you can ignore the first Merfolk thing, and it would still see play in decks. I feel.
Yeah. I've got a one that I thought was kind of cool. So there's like a limited amount of legends in this set, but this card is sort of referencing Wart, the Raid Mother, which is like original legend from Shadowmoor. And that card had Conspire. And I think Conspire originally came out in Shadowmoor. And this card is Raiding Schemes, 3 and red green. Each non-creature spell you cast has Conspire, and it's an enchantment. So debatable if this is usable because I don't know, Gruul Spellslinger isn't like a super common archetype, but I don't know, maybe if you just threw in any Gruul deck, you can just double up on value for any big brutal spell with like minimal effort. So Conspire, that is, as you cast a non-creature spell, you may tap two untapped creatures you control that share a color with it. When you do, copy it, and you may choose a new target for the copy.
Hey, I mean, we for Christmas we made the uh, Maria deck, and uh, that one is a gold. I mean, Uh, it's a Gruul artificer deck. So if you have colored artifacts that are big and valuable, you can get duplicates of those. So, and then trying to think of big, scary, green or red artifacts. But yeah, they exist. The Gear Hulks. There you
Yeah,
go. You
that's what I was
can,
gonna say.
Oh,
You got
true,
Gear
true,
Hulks
true.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, you can get double Gear Hulk ETBs. Uh, you can do some nasty stuff. You can figure it out from there somehow. They just say non-creature spell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoops.
well, I don't know.
You can figure something out. You can
Yeah,
make
you
something
can,
cool.
yeah, you can make some cool. You can break it in some capacity.
I have a
Maybe like spells that make more tokens that you can then use to
Yeah, or
conspire.
just like a massive pump spell. Just double it.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, doubling up a uh overrun would probably get the job done. Like +6/+6 and trample is pretty formidable.
Oof.
Okay, sorry. I think I cut someone off. Did someone else have a thought?
I had like another honorable mention.
Yeah, send it.
Um, it is Stalactite Dagger. Two colorless artifact equipment. When it enters, it has creature fall, so create a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. And equip creature gets +1/+1 and is all creature types. And equip two. Now, personally, I could use this in my pirate deck where I just like active treason something, then I can turn it into a pirate, so then it's buffed a little bit. But yeah, if you're playing some sort of typal deck and you have like an off synergy piece, but you want it to benefit from your typal effects, then just slap it on there and do whatever. And it is just a common too.
Yeah, that's a really good call out too, because there's a lot of times where you'll have like the odd piece that functions as a role in your deck, but it doesn't benefit from uh, being the same creature type as your commander or this, that, or the other. So that
Mm.
is a really nice way to kind of fill in that gap.
Yeah, I think I mean, I haven't kept score or anything like that, but what's nice about all these cards that we're talking about is they're not all rares. Like there's a hefty amount of commons and uncommons in the set that are staples that, this set's just all around solid. I think from what we're seeing in the art, what we're seeing the cards do, what we're seeing, mechanically wise, I guess I could say. But it's just this is such a solid set, and it's a shame that it's kind of been overshadowed a little bit. They've tried to, I feel like it's tried to been held back, and it's still shining through, which is really awesome to see.
Yeah, I imagine we're probably going to see some of these cards played a little bit more when we head to MagicCon. I know
Yeah.
Strixhaven will be out by then, but I do believe there's going to be some good uncommons and common Wolverine cards that we're going to see a lot more of.
Yeah, I think this set has staying power,
Yeah.
which is really nice to see. It's not just, open it, play it for now, and then move on. This one's going to be around for a while.
Yeah, because they
An honorable mention that we have is a goblin that I believe Nathan is going to want to use for his potential uh, ideas because I know he likes to be a little tomfoolery. I have to remember finding it real quick because I think it was a common. If you give me a second,
can I read your mind? And
if you can, that'd be awesome.
okay, so reading your mind, but it'd be Bone Club Berserker.
I godly, I saw it right when you said it, but yes, a
Okay.
three. It's a three and a red, common goblin, 2/4. This creature gets +2/+0 for each other goblin you control.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
so
So that just has that. So I wonder if like on ETB with a something like, oh my God, what's it
a
called?
Warstorm Surge or a Terror
Thank
of the
you,
Peaks.
Warstorm
Yeah,
Surge.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah. Thank you. As my brain was you I picked your brain, you picked my brain. That's how
You
this
could
works.
fling it. I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you could do whatever you want with this thing.
Yeah, that's a disgusting card for, and it's a common that can in goblin decks who be making goblins. It's an absolute power play. I love it. That's a really good call out.
Yeah, Krinko's gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
Then I mean, like also talking to the staying power of this deck. There's like effects that are coming back that uh, are very popular and people who want to run these in some capacity will have to go to the set for them to have as many copies as possible. Like Mirror Form,
Hmm.
like it's a mythic, but 4 and 2 blue. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-land permanent, or sorry, non-aura permanent. Sorry. Uh, I mean that effect is huge. That can close out the game. I mean, I literally closed out my games at Moonshot by turning all my creatures into the common flying merfolk and swinging out with that. So uh, everything goes in the air and everything gets +2/+0 in some capacity. and that was enough to close out some games. And that's just anywhere you. It's kind of like Blues Crater Hoof in some capacity, depending on what card you're choosing.
What's up, Keith?
Yeah, I have another little off flavor pick that I thought was kind of cool. It is called Darkness Descends for two and then double black sorcery. Put two -1/-1 counters on each creature. So it could be a wipe, but it's also like an insane synergy piece for like half the cards in this set. And I was just looking up other cards to give -1/-1 counters, and there's a commander, Hapatra, Vizier of Poisons, black and a green, 2/2 legendary creature, human cleric. And first part is whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Or whenever you put one or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, create a 1/1 green snake creature token with Death Touch. So that's pretty nuts right off the bat.
Yeah,
And
okay.
notably, real quick, just before, a lot of cards that do have like wither effects are typically only on like one or two creatures at a time. And this is just like a blanket blight on everything.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
That's a really
Okay.
cool. Sorry, that's a really good call out. The only thing I wanted to add was that that card that makes the snakes that you're describing. It
Hmm.
is in the Jund precon for
Yeah.
Lorwyn, so people can pick that up and do the disgusting make all the snakes things that you were describing.
Yeah. Also, the high perfect Morcant, her second ability, tap three, untap elves you control, proliferate. So you can just go go dummy on that too.
It's like a like turns proliferate into Massacre Girl real quick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, not only
That
that,
blight deck's crazy.
um, yeah, fresh out of the box could do that. But I mean, if you throw in Unbound Flourishing, or I think it's that's what it's called, or the Lothriel that can just supply you with as many elves as you need, it can go wild.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, just like the elves be making elves, and then they just uh have perfect Mord can just keeps
Yeah.
benefiting from what elves are already doing, but then takes it in kind of that fun populate direction. Even like
Flourishing
uh,
Defense is what it's called. My bad.
the even like poison and proliferating poison, like the like you have like an instant or sorcery from the Brothers War block that would put a it's you just like something gets -4/-4 and everyone gets a poison counter. Then that's everyone's on a clock now. You proliferate 9 times, it's game over.
Insane. Yeah, Wither, Blight, all of that stuff, they're eating big time with this set.
Yeah, I think
Infect.
there's not a ton of commanders, but one I did want to mention that looked kind of fun was the Chiral Attentive First Year. He's one in split Boros. You can tap two untap creatures you control, copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy, activate only once each turn. Um, I do enjoy whenever they give Boros an option for a commander that isn't just equipment and
Yeah.
this. uh, so the ability to double a triggered ability is pretty neato. I guess you could run Elish Norn in here, and you could triple an ETB ability if you really wanted. I don't know. You could just do some
Oof.
dumb stuff. Anyway, Keith, what were you saying?
Yeah, so that hybrid mana rule for Commander, was that like confirmed? Is that
No,
supposed to, they're
it's
still
the
debating it?
it's still debating
Sorry.
it. Yes, they're still debating it, and then like it's kind of controversial. Some people feel one way, some people feel another. Um, I'm in full. Um, I want people to be able to play as many cards as possible, so I want them to rule that you can play it in either. But I can. There are some people smarter than me who also argue can argue the other way articulately. My biggest counter argument will always be, well, look at green. Green does everything. Everyone should be able to do everything in some capacity.
True.
Yeah, so that's a counter argument. I feel like
Based and true.
I feel like SpongeBob whenever uh Patrick is like not the deadbeat dad who's like he's like green doesn't get everything. Huh? Rip off wallpaper that you see like hexproof trample draw ramp. Yeah, that's
Oh
how I
yeah.
picture my argument.
Yeah, green's always been the loved color, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess I'm just green with envy, I guess. And then I think ultimately though, I guess before we wrap up, I know uh, Nathan touched on the commander he was looking at. Could you uh, remind me his name? I
Tristan.
lost
Just
Tristan.
yeah.
Yep.
And I know there's like a I'm spacing their names, but there's like an Australian uh YouTube people, and they one of them have a deck where they can only play cards if they're named after people they've actually met. And so
That's
there's another
awesome.
one for that one. But yeah, so Tristan, anyone else, any commanders that you guys were thinking about building around after doing your draft?
I like the new Treefolk Big Butts commander. It's pretty cool. It has
That's
each
its
creature
name.
spell. Yep, Duran Besieged by Time.
It's me,
It's
Tree Folk Big
one
Butts.
white, black, green. Treefolk Druid 05. Each creature spell you cast with toughness greater than its power costs one less to cast, and whenever a creature you control attacks or blocks, it gets plus X until end of turn, where X is the difference between its power and toughness.
Yeah.
So, what, a Baitor, the other big butt dragon, you can build those budget and really strong like crazy. Like our friend AJ has a Baitor deck, right? Betor,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's just
It's a
really
Bader deck.
strong
It's
and
fine. You can
fast.
say it.
Yeah, it's like the way he made it, it's one of the like top tier Bader decks. Like I'd say it's probably like if you could say it's a master Bader deck.
uh,
Yeah.
then uh, but yeah, so like other commanders, anyone? Oh, God.
No, I was just gonna say like cheap defenders, like a 0/5, you could just cast for like 1 mana. And I mean, if it can attack, it'll get basically +5/+5 until end of turn, which is
Yeah.
just insanely good just
Yeah.
across the board.
And like you can even like be running things that give like I don't know what exists in this color in these colors, but because it's based off of the difference, like if they have like minus power, then it
True.
doesn't minus power. It's weird. Like
It pairs really well with the original Duran.
yeah. So you run Duran and you're
I
unstoppable.
Yep.
Yep.
have to
Yeah.
look up the
Or
other Duran.
Arcades the strategist.
Yeah, I think you have to find a way to get black in there, but once you do, you're
Oh
good to
yeah.
go. Uh, yeah, I think looking out at these, I really liked Bree of Clan Strout Arm, the giant
Stout arm. You remember their name.
Stout Arm.
I
If
love how I love how
But
all the goblins basically just give every or not goblins, all the giants give everything flying because they're just launching them.
yeah, okay, Bree of Clan Stout Arm. Thanks for the connection, Sam. They she two in a Boros, one in white, Tapper, another creature you control gains flying and lifelink until end of turn, and then at the beginning of in step, you get to if you gain life to turn, exile cards off the top of your library. Then you can cast a non-land card from among them without paying its mana cost if it's less than the amount of life you've gained. So just cheat off a big thing. You're like losing the things that you exile off the top, but I mean, the infamous Cruel Claw still sees play, and this is a cuter. She just gives a little sheep a kiss on the forehead and yeets it at you. So it's I like the flavor. Then I also liked, as I mentioned, I like the vampire Boros commander a lot too. So, um, and he would potentially double that triggered ability for Bree. So I think one could go into the other pretty cleanly. Any other decks that you guys were looking at crafting?
I was already crafting
Oh,
a fancy Wither deck, so it makes it a little easier with the precon coming out.
Oh yeah, so you're doing the so who are you gonna run as a commander then?
Oh, Lucius the Eternal. I'm really going wide left field on this one.
Okay, I can't wait to play it. Do you want to tell the class what Lucius does, just if they're not
It's the
familiar?
Warhammer card. Just it's like a 5/5 haste creature, but the main property of it is whenever he dies, you exile him and you mark a creature an opponent controls. And if that card will leave the battlefield, he comes back. And the whole point is he's going to constantly have Wither. So he's always constantly going to be like doing negative creatures and always attacking. And then there's just ways of comboing off with them.
Oh, that sounds sick. Yeah, fun brew there. Yep, Keith.
I really like the design of the Goblin flip card in this set. Grub Stored Matriarch. So the front side, which is black, it's two and a black, 2/1. Whenever this creature enters or transforms into Grub Stored Matriarch, return up to one target Goblin card from your graveyard to your hand. And then the other side is red and it blights one, but it lets you create a tapped and attacking token. So it can kill one of your goblins, but simultaneously copy it, get a nice ETB, and then you flip it back over, and then you could just return that dead goblin back to your hand. So it's a nice little engine, like just in the command zone.
Oh, something I just realized, kind of. So I love that, and I love that little, uh, the little engine that can with the goblins. That is going to be a
Yeah.
lot of
Rip,
fun.
rip dockside.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
That would
if
go
you can
crazy with
add
that.
Uh,
if you have a way to add food tokens to that and then make it a grub hub deck, I think that'd be sick.
that's funny. I like that. Uh, yeah, I think there's like I mean, you have if you have the mechanized production. The what's the
Academy manufacturer.
Sam has saved my butt so many times this episode. Thank you, Sam. Your brain has all the wrinkles, and mine is smooth, no
Mhm.
wrinkles. But yeah, so Academy Manufacturer, you have that, and then you have the Pitiless Plunderer. So then, whenever a creature you control dies, you get a treasure token.
Oof.
Then you get the food token to that way, and now you have Grubhub. There we go.
Yes.
I've created Grubhub for you.
Yes.
There we
There's
go.
like which is one of the cauldrons lets you sacrifice something and make food too.
Yeah, it's
It could
the
either be the token copy on the backside of Grub or just
it's
the undead
Asmeralda's
one.
uh cauldron.
Yeah.
Grant something
Anyways,
something cool to car.
good, cool
Yes.
commander. You can do a couple different things with it for sure.
Oh, one more thing. Another commander I wanted to pitch to you guys that I'm kind of like on the cusp of maybe pulling the trigger on is the Marlin Fey Ascendant, the
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, two and
Strong.
Sultai, uh, elf fairy noble. Whenever Marlin or another elf or fairy you control enters, exile the top two cards of target opponent's library. Once each turn, you may cast a spell with mana value less or equal to the number of elves and fairies you control from among cards exiled with Marlin with this turn without paying its mana cost. So you're restricted to the ones this turn, but hey, if you have Intruder Alarm and the Merfolk I was talking about earlier, uh, you can just make infinite fairies by tapping the Pestered Well Guard for some effect of some sort. And yeah, you can make infinite fairies and mill everyone infinitely, or actually exile their
Sheesh.
decks. So
Keith likes that a lot.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I know.
I've seen
I'm so scared of Keith's fairies deck, and it's gonna get even
Oh,
scarier after this set.
it's chill. I've seen a lot of
Fun fact,
people.
listeners, it is not chill. It
It's
will.
not chill.
It is not zero chill.
You think fairies? Oh, I love fairies. They're nice and cute. No.
They have me sounding like Mr. Crocker over here.
Fairies!
I've seen a lot of people talking down on typo decks online.
Well, we don't. I mean, Temple's fun. Like those people don't enjoy fun. Like you find like a fun creature like in this fantasy world, and you build up around it, and you enjoy what you enjoy. So I think people should enjoy what they enjoy as long as it's not Spider-Man. Just kidding.
I think
You
I
can
think that's
enjoy what you
what's
enjoy.
I think that's what's kind of fun about this set, and I think I kind of understand why people are kind of upset about it because it kind of, when you think about it, it's kind of a commander-ish, uh, like a masters type set for commanders with how much love they have for, like, if you're playing X creature type, this is what happens for all those creatures. And that's a lot of cards in this set. So I think people are kind of like, well, this was a commander set kind of, and it's like, well, but that, if you don't play commander, you can also play, like, I mean, there's goblin decks during championships that have popped off. There's I don't know. I think people are, this set just came out. I think everybody needs to chill out a little bit, but um yeah, just because you might not like, creature types and type decks, I think this might bring you around the other way.
I think like with this though, they kind of diverted expectations for the types that they gave us commanders for.
Hmm.
So I mean, Merfolk they bridged a gap into white Merfolk with goblins. They gave a whole mechanic and payout engine that might be kind of competitive with the straight up Cranko engine. And elves, you have about five different flavors of elf that you can build around. That isn't just elf ball. You have grave synergy. You have so much grave synergy support now. And elementals, you got the entire five color elemental, just ETB disgusting engine in the precon. Like every thing got some good love in a fun way. So it was not just supplying the decks that already existed, it opened the door to see these loved types in new ways. So I love this set, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of my favorite sets in a very long time.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and like I've said, the staying power is going to be here for a very long time, I feel like. So,
yeah. Also, everyone at that moonshot, it seemed like they were having a good time. Like it was like even if like I got killed by something, I'd be like, that was a cool thing that killed me. So it's very entertaining. I had a ton of fun at that event, and I have a ton of fun playing with these cards. So I want to play with them more. Uh, with that, how is everyone feeling about the episode? Does it resolve?
yeah, I think this episode resolves.
I think so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, bye.
Bye. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Hexproof from Ward. If you like what you heard, you can continue to listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube. You can also give us a follow on Instagram and Blue Sky. We'll see you next week.